Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into a challenge that, let's be honest, pretty much all of us face every single day. The constant battle for our own attention. We're going to break down why it's so hard to put our devices down, and, most importantly, map out a clear, real-world plan to take back control.
You know the feeling, right? You grab your phone to check one simple thing, maybe the weather or a text message, and then you look up. An entire hour has just vanished into this black hole of videos, news feeds, and notifications. Where did it go?
And if that experience leaves you feeling frustrated or maybe even a little guilty, I really want you to hear this. You are so not alone. This isn't some personal flaw. It's a shared struggle in our modern world.
But here is the single most important thing to get right from the start. This is not a personal failure. It is not about you lacking willpower. It is the direct result of some of the most sophisticated, intentional design on the entire planet.
Okay, so if we're going to take back control, we first have to understand the invisible forces we're actually up against. You got to think of it like a game. You can't win if you don't know your opponent's strategy.
So we're all living inside this thing called the attention economy. It's this wild system where companies aren't really selling products to you. No, your attention is the product they're selling to advertisers. In this economy, every single second of your focus is currency, and there are thousands of brilliant engineers working around the clock to get you to spend it with them.
And this question from Tristan Harris, who used to be a design ethicist at Google, just hits you right in the gut. The scale of this is just mind-boggling. We're talking about billions of people, and the technology is explicitly designed to guide our behavior, a lot of the time without us even noticing.
So this is the blueprint for how they do it. It's called the hook model. Let's just walk through it real quick. It starts with a trigger. That could be your phone buzzing, or it could just be an internal feeling, like a pang of boredom. That leads to an action. You just instinctively open an app. And then comes the secret sauce, the variable reward. This is literally the same psychology that makes a slot machine so addictive. You scroll, and you never know what you're going to get. A great photo from a friend, a hilarious video, or nothing. That unpredictability is what gets you hooked. Finally, you make a tiny investment. You like a photo, you leave a comment. That simple action makes it more likely you'll come back. And boom, the cycle starts all over again.
And the results of this model? Well, they're pretty staggering. We now know that over 6.3% of the entire world's population show signs of actual smartphone addiction. And for teenagers, that number skyrockets to a shocking 16%, basically 1 in 6. This isn't some niche problem, it's systemic.
Okay, so now that we get the problem, let's talk about the solution. And here's the good news. We can absolutely fight back. But it doesn't start with just gritting our teeth and using willpower. It starts by redesigning our digital and physical spaces to work for us instead of against us.
The whole strategy here is pretty simple. Create friction. Tech companies have spent billions making their apps totally frictionless. Our job is to add that friction right back in. Turn off every notification that isn't from a real human being. Those are the external triggers from the hook model, remember? Just get rid of them. Delete your most addictive apps from your phone and make a rule that you only use them on a computer. And little things, like switching your phone screen to grayscale, suddenly that super colorful, enticing world becomes, well, a lot less interesting.
All right, now for a brilliant physical strategy. I love this one, the analog bag. Think of it as your go-to kit for any moment of downtime. It's just a simple tote bag you keep packed and ready, filled with engaging, non-digital stuff to do. So when you have a spare moment, instead of reaching for your phone, you grab this.
So what goes in it? This is the fun part. Anything you find genuinely interesting. A great book you've been meaning to read, a journal, a sketchbook, heck, even a deck of cards or a cool vintage camera. The whole point is to make this bag so appealing that grabbing it is an easier, more exciting choice than just scrolling on your phone.
And hey, if you need to bring out the big guns, there are tools for that too. A timer lockbox is exactly what it sounds like. You pop your phone inside, you set a timer, and you literally cannot get it out until that timer goes off. It's a way of making a promise to your future self that you're going to have a phone-free zone.
Okay, so you've used these strategies, you've created these little pockets of phone-free time in your day. Now for what might be the most important part of this whole thing. What are you going to fill that time with? This is where we make this huge, powerful shift from being passive consumers of content to becoming active creators and learners.
I mean, think about it.
This newfound time is an incredible opportunity. You could enroll in a free online course from a place like Harvard. You could decide, I'm going to learn one new word every day. Or you could finally pick up that guitar that's been collecting dust in the corner. The goal here is active engagement over passive scrolling.
And look, this isn't just some nice theory. Check out this comment from Jessica, who did exactly that. She swapped out mindless scrolling for a coding course, and she says it didn't just fill her time, it actually enriched her entire life.
Another really powerful path is to create something tangible, something you can hold in your hands. There is this deep human satisfaction that comes from making something, that just consuming stuff can never ever replicate. Start a journal, pick up a paintbrush, bake something amazing from scratch, get crafty.
And as Sophie says right here, it just feels good to produce something. It lights up totally different parts of our brain and gives you this sense of accomplishment that 1,000 likes on a post just can't compete with. So, we've looked at the why, the how, and the what. In this last section, let's pull it all together. Because this isn't just about a bunch of tips and tricks, it's about forging a whole new mindset.
And this right here is the most crucial mindset shift of all. Lasting change doesn't come from willpower. That's all about fighting urges, and it's exhausting, and it almost always leads to a rebound. Real change comes from self-knowledge, from actually understanding why you're reaching for your phone in the first place. It's a huge shift from restriction to genuine awareness.
Which brings us to this central idea. We have to stop thinking of our attention as this fragile little resource that needs to be rationed and protected. Instead, think of it like a muscle. It is a skill that with practice, you can train, you can strengthen, and you can direct wherever you want it to go. And here's a fantastic 4-step framework to help you train that muscle. First, master your internal triggers. So the next time you feel that pull to check your phone, just pause for a second and ask, what am I actually feeling right now? Am I bored? Am I anxious? Just knowing the root cause is half the battle. Second, make time for traction. Traction is any action that pulls you toward what you want in life. Put it in your calendar, work, family time, hobbies. If it's not scheduled, it's easy for it to get pushed aside. Third, hack back external triggers. We covered this one. It's all about turning off those pings and dings that constantly derail you. And finally, prevent distraction with pacts. This is where you make a pre-commitment using tools like that timer lockbox to help your future self out. So why does all this matter so much? Well, let's just put some numbers to it. If you use these strategies to get back just 1 hour of screen time every day, that adds up to 365 hours a year. That is the equivalent of 15 full 24-hour days. So the final question I want to leave you with is this. You have just been handed an extra 2 weeks of your life, every single year. What are you going to build with them?